The first person I'm going to bring up to this stage is Canadian author of the best-selling Off the Ice series, Bal Khabra.
Hello, hello. Oh, wow. I love this atmosphere. It's so fun. Okay, so I actually want to introduce our hockey panelist authors. We got a very good, diverse panel. So first up, I just want to get with Stephanie Archer. And Stephanie writes spicy romantic comedies with sharp banter, lots of laugh, and guaranteed HEAs. And she's also Canadian. And we have Kate Cochran. She lives outside Boston with her wife, 2 children, and charming but badly behaved chocolate Labradoodle. And we have Emily Rath, the New York Times best-selling author, USA Today, and a #1 Amazon best-selling author. Yeah. And then we have Rachel Reid. And the New York Times best-selling author of the Game Changer series, but I'm sure you guys know that. And we have Ngozi Ukazu, New York Times best-selling author and award-winning creator of Check Please. Okay.
This is so exciting.
Okay, awesome. I'm so glad to see all of you here. We got a few Canadians, we got some Americans, all of us writing hockey. So, as I was going through the questions for this, I was asking my friends, I'm like, what should I ask? And the first thing she said was, ask them if hockey romance had a scent, what would it be? And
it would smell so bad.
I know.
It smelled like a hockey bag.
Once you smell a gear bag, there's no going back. So I was like, I'm not gonna ask them that. We require a bit of, you gotta suspend your belief in order to read some hockey romance. They don't smell all like mysteriously musky. That's not a thing. So, because we have to dispel so much belief in hockey romance, I wanna know what you think is the reason hockey romance has us all screaming in a room at 11 a.m.
I just want to go on the record and say it's weird that we're all here. It is, and there's a lot of people here. It's like, it's Sunday. We're all gathered here like it's Easter Sunday at a mega church. It's so crazy. Yeah, open your Bibles to 1 Crosby, verse 69. It's strange, like hockey romance. I love emotionally repressed men making out as much as the next gal, but I think we have escaped containment. This is like when the Omegaverse was a thing. And I had to explain to like my optometrist what slick was. So I don't know why. I mean, we know why it's like hit this fever pitch, like, and we can all say thank you so much to Rachel. But I think we can figure out like why it makes people so excited. Between the 6 of us, I think we can do it.
I think the mystery of hockey is a big part of it. At least a lot of people told me that. They're like, I don't know anything about hockey. Like, it's just may as well be a made-up sci-fi thing. I don't have to like nitpick the details because I don't know them. And it's like, it just like adds a layer because what they're doing seems impossible and weird, which it is. Like, hockey is a very strange sport. And it's also very physical and violent and fast and scary. And I think all of that adds to it, for sure. I think it's a part of it. Maybe between all of us, we can get all the parts.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I agree. I honestly have no clue either. Like, I just fell into this, and I'm so glad I'm in this little hole with all you guys. So I want to ask, what do you think hockey in particular lets you explore about characters better than any other sport like rugby or baseball? Love those two. Stephanie?
Okay, what was the question?
What do you think hockey in particular lets you explore about your characters than any other sport does?
I think they're pushed to the limits a bit more in hockey. It's a really brutal game. It's very hard on their bodies. Well, I guess rugby is too. What was the other sport you mentioned?
Baseball?
Baseball. Not as much.
Yeah.
No shade. I mean, in Canada, these hockey players are celebrities. Like, I'm just thinking of in Vancouver, like, if the Sedin brothers were to walk down the street, like, they'd be asked for selfies and autographs and stuff like that. And so that's something that's really fun to play with. And it's really fun to play with in the books as well, like how that celebrity aspect affects their life. So yeah, what about all of you?
Yeah. Emily?
No, it's hard. There's a lot of directions we could go. I'm the one that tends to get political, but we don't have to go that direction.
No, I encourage it all.
Do
it. I encourage it.
No, I mean,
Do it.
Because when I saw this question on the list, I was like, oh no, don't give me the mic.
No,
and that's why I
want
didn't
to.
even pick it up, because I was like, don't give me the mic. But I feel like given the panel that we have in front of us, and we have so much diversity on this panel, we have queer authors, we have non-white authors, it has to be said that the cornerstone of why this is so popular in publishing is racism, right? The fact that we have to ask the question, who gets to tell stories, and then who reads those stories? So for so long, white women, straight white women, were the ones that were writing romance. They were writing for other straight white women. What were they writing? What felt safe? The whitest sport there is hockey, right?
Yep.
I feel like what we see here is a fact that that's changing, right? And it's changing for the better, the fact that we have all this queer representation, non-white representation. So even as we can say things like, it's fast, it's fun, it's exciting, a lot of other sports have that. What the other sports don't have is a whiteness problem, right? But yeah, I'll stop there.
I love that. I'm glad you addressed that. We'll probably get more into that later on as well. Yeah. So I just also want to know, what do you, okay, so when you're, this is a drafting question and it's kind of just selfish, I just want to know. When you guys are writing, how do you think about the characters? Are they just coming to you immediately? Are you like, some people have like birth charts of their characters and like zodiac signs. I want to know how crazy you go into that.
I think I'm the zodiac sign one, right? Yeah, no, for me, I joke, I have a 9-year-old kid. I think several of us have kids that are around that age. I use the Minecraft example of spawning, which makes me feel really cool. It's literally like one moment they're not there, and then they spawn in my mind, absolutely fully formed, talking to me, telling me to write them down. And so it's really cool of like, they'll just emerge in my mind, and then it's like, oh no, what am I supposed to do with Jake, right? And then I'll flesh it out from there. So I'll do things like assign them zodiac signs. That's really fun. Just to kind of connect with them. I'll give them favorite ice cream flavors, backstories. Even if that doesn't come out in the book, I know it about them, and that's really fun. So,
Yeah.
I don't do any of that. My wife will read my books and be like, what are these people supposed to look like? And I'm like, oh, right, physical description. I should have that too.
You go for the vibe.
Yeah. So I write women. Because that's my deal. Love it. And so when I was writing, I was like, what are the people who are going to hate each other the most? So Nat and Darcy were teammates in college, and Nat has a huge chip on her shoulder, and Darcy has a chip on her shoulder because her dad is super famous, and so everyone thinks she got what she got because of her dad. So that was where I started. I'm like, how can I make them hate each other the most? And then fall in love, and then break up, and then hate each other again. So that's sort of how I come to it. And also, like, who are the hottest people around hockey players?
Yeah, I agree. I love when they hate each other. If I could write every book, enemies to lovers, I would. And I also want to know, so some of us have written interconnected, like, standalone series. I want to know, are there times when you're writing and you realize you've boxed yourself in because of the last book, and you're like, oh, crap, let me change this up?
No. I wish I could go back and change 1 million things in the first few books, but sometimes it'll just be like one throwaway line in an earlier book messes up everything I'm doing in the next book. And I'm like, no. And it's happening now with Unrivaled. But, and I'll just be like, can I just go back and erase that line? Yeah, no, I'm not a good planner. I wrote each book as if it might be the last one in the series. And then when it wasn't, I had to like try to fit everything in. Thankfully, I have really great fans who have kind of created this like online series Bible for me, which I also sent to Jacob. I appreciate it. It's great because I need to look up things like their player numbers and birthdays and stuff like that, heights. Very, very helpful. But yeah, I'm not good at planning like a full series in advance, that kind of thing.
I once had to invent a stairwell in a club because I had, like in book 3, you know the stairwell. Yeah, because of exactly what you said, a throwaway line where my character, the chapter ends in book 1 with him being like, have fun. Like that's all he says, but it's like, you can't be here. You have to be over here. And so I invented a stairwell for him to escape through. Yeah, that was fun.
Genius.
I don't think readers realize how much time we spend on these tiny little details that most of you will never pick up on, but just drive us absolutely up the wall behind the scenes. Just, you know, these tiny little details that have to work for us to make the book work. So.
Yeah, I would agree. I've done that way too many times, and I just hope nobody notices. That's how I go about it.
I do sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, clearly. Okay, and I also, just as we're talking about representation in hockey, I want to know, because this sport reveals so much about people, and historically we've been seeing who's been included and who hasn't. What do you think writing queer hockey romance in particular changed or expanded how you see the genre, especially since we've seen hockey being traditionally hypermasculine?
Yeah, I think for me, I think the first time I can't remember what the first, it might have been Check Please. The first, but I mean, yeah, there's such a homophobia problem in men's hockey, especially that I remember my first thought was like, I love this because hockey players would hate this. And I was like, you know, so it's kind of part of what fuels me to write too, but it's something I've thought about. I've been a hockey fan for a very long time, like since the 80s. And I remember in the 90s as a teenager starting to think then about how extremely difficult it would be to be a closeted hockey player, because at that time especially it felt like you definitely have to stay closeted. And you know, nothing's really changed on that front in all the years since. So that was sort of what led me to write Game Changer. I just really needed to write what I wanted to see happen. And yeah, I really enjoyed, you know, obviously I enjoy queer romance generally, but hockey romance is a great way to work out a lot of like feelings and that you have generally about toxic masculinity and homophobia, because it's rampant in men's hockey.
In women's hockey, we just marry each other, so. Sometimes break up right before the Olympics, you know.
But then get back together in Act 3. Or not. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like with Check Please, I was interested in telling a story that did deal with coming out of the closet and homophobia, but I really wanted to focus on queer joy and a happy ending. And with Biddy's story, he's a force for change. He enters this team as this pie baking kid, and the sport changes around him. It wasn't a moment where it's a bit of a fantasy, right? He enters this like completely homosocial, homophobic world, and he starts to, just through his joy and being who he is and staying committed to exactly who he is, the sport just shifts. He's like this black hole, and everything just morphs around him. And I think I'm a little more interested in those stories than in stories where the queer character has to fight so much against these structures. I'm interested in that character already being a realized person and the structures changing for them.
Okay, I love that. And that also goes into my next question, which I also agree with. I feel like the characters should be realized, and then their queerness, or like for BIPOC characters, I want to know, how do you include them in the story with having like a fully realized presence instead of just like a, let me add on that they're this thing?
Bal, I'm so glad you included this question in the panel. And Emily, thank you so much for talking about how hockey does have a whiteness problem. It is, and it's the reason why it's so popular. It's not just racial, it's not just cultural, it's socioeconomic as well. There are all these barriers that remove people of color, and we can talk about in our novels, characters of color, from access. I think a fully realized character of color in a hockey novel is one where we're not only inhabiting that point of view, but we're talking about those barriers. We're coming up against them in complex, messy ways. But to be honest, I'm less interested in this idea of inclusion and representation, and I'm becoming more invested in the idea of centering. It's just, thank you for the woo. I think in my future projects, I'm working on another volume of Check Please, which is really exciting. And I don't think I would be able to do it if it was focusing primarily on white characters. We have a biracial character and an Asian character, and another character who's from a like blue-collar socioeconomic class. And yeah, I think my projects going forward, I'm less interested in inclusion and more in centering, even though I have one more shift in the white boy yaoi minds. But that's another project for another time. This is like a State of the Union address. You can't clap for everything.
I do love that you said centering. That's such a good way to put it, because I think even when I started writing hockey romance, I was afraid to like put a character who's like Indian or like up front like that. But I think now that I see all of these people are here just for see that diversity, it's so amazing. Like that's why I can have a book with like a Japanese character and a Filipina going forward. So thank you for that. Okay, so I actually want to do little specific questions for each of you, and I'm going to start with Ngozi. Awesome. So you were doing this really early. You were here in 2013 with your novel, and this current wave that we're getting in the virality, I want to know, what do you think hockey storytelling is doing today, and what feels most different to you compared to when you first began?
I feel like I invested in Apple in 1982. So yes, I started Check Please in 2013, pretty long time ago. And if you don't know Check Please, I'll give you a brief summary. It's a story of a former figure skater who loves to bake, and he plays college hockey. And Eric Biddle's story, he's just this gay kid from Madison, Georgia, who gets a scholarship to play hockey in Massachusetts. And he's scared of getting checked. He's also, that's one problem. His second problem is that he's in love with this super tortured, stoic hockey captain named Jack Zimmerman. Yeah, we love Jack and all of his hockey robot problems. But when I started this story in 2013, which, yeah, over a decade ago, you're wondering how old I am, you'll never know, I'm Black. Thank you. It was a really different time. I remember it was a serialized webcomic. I remember this one update. It was the graduation update. And this was the update where Jack finally realizes that he is in love with Biddy. And it was so fun drawing his like graduation robes billowing behind him and sketching in the like colors and choosing the color scheme. And I didn't draw every single graduation chair because I'm not crazy, but when he finally meets Biddy and confesses, he kisses him. And even just the paneling of that, I like, you know how you want like a kiss to linger? You want to linger on it? I just broke it up into a bunch of panels. And I remember it was so weird. I had a reader, Emma, who reached out and was like, I didn't think this could happen. Yeah, even in an independent webcomic, I didn't think this could happen. Check Please was started in 2013, and it wasn't until June 26, 2016 that same-sex marriage was legalized in the United States of America. So it was a different time then. So queer narrative back then was something that was new and tenuous. I mean, and now, did I hear that Jill Biden wants to also walk?
Well, she didn't win. She didn't want it bad enough.
Oh, damn.
My joke, she had to call Joe and be like, we didn't do it, Joe.
We didn't do it, Joe.
It was for him.
It was for him. Oh, man. Maybe that's for the best, but.
It would have been an awkward cameo, probably.
No, I'm not doing a Joe Biden impression at BookCon.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
Do you think I have a Joe Biden? But it was a totally different time, and I'm just glad now that we're not asking for crumbs. We're expecting these strong queer narratives. But the 2010s were very different. We had the best queer baiting. Oh, it was so good. You guys remember Sherlock season 3? We all thought those motherfuckers were boning. But it's okay, it didn't happen. Thank you so much for that question, Bal. You went everywhere.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with you. Also, I'm gonna need that Joe Biden impression later. Okay, I also want to know, Ngozi as well, as this genre continues to grow, what do you hope we protect or preserve that diverse stories continue to be supported and valued beyond the virality that we're seeing?
Look, I don't think that hockey romance is a trend. I don't think that queer narratives are a trend. I think that, I mean, we're all romance readers here, or just readers in general, but we know that story is not just escape. It can be manifestation. And my goal in telling any story that I make is that I want these to feel dated at a certain point. I mean, not too dated. People keep calling Check Please a period piece. I don't know how I feel about that. But I want these stories to feel, I want people to look back and go like, oh, that was such a big deal that a gay kid was playing, that a trans kid was playing. That's really my goal. And I think as authors, we have a duty to write the stories you want to see, but we do have a duty to like investigate those hard conversations. And as readers, you guys have the power to really enable and encourage those conversations and support them. And it's really not a trend. It's just if it's a trend, it's going upward.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. All right, I'm gonna go to Rachel next. I want to know, well, first off, this is just me. How many stupid Wolfbird shirts are too many to have?
I don't think there's a limit.
Okay, awesome. I'm safe then. But okay, so since your books have become such a positive representation in queer hockey romance, and you write the best slow burn, it's the only time I'm rooting for like a 10-year situationship and like holding on. I want to know, how do you do that, and how do you make sure we are still like gripping on until the end?
Well, you put a lot of sex in the slow burn. It's a slow burn where they're going at it on page 1. That helps. I like tension a lot. I think you have to know when the right time is to really pull the trigger and have the big I love you moment. And sometimes it's not when I think it's gonna be, but I enjoy writing slow burn. I mean, not all of my books are, Heated Rivalry is a weird one, but it's an impatient slow burn. But I don't know. Was that the extent of the question?
Yeah, honestly, that was great. And I also want to know, as you're writing your books, do you know right away like which characters are coming next, or is it just popping up in your head as you're going?
Some of them I did. So Tough Guy, I did. Common Gold was the one that I knew I wanted to write about Kyle. I wasn't sure who the best love interest was, so I kind of brainstormed a few ideas. But role model, that was really clear in my head. I knew pretty early on that I wanted to do like a redemption arc kind of thing. And then obviously The Long Game was, I knew who that was about. But I think Common Goal was the only one that like I was really kind of weighing my options about who the love interest was going to be.
Okay, Awesome. Yeah, I would agree. Also, it just pops up in my head. Like, I don't even know how that comes. And I want to go to Emily Rath next. I feel like you put like it's like chaos, it's chemistry, it's like a push and pull in there, and you do that really well. And I want to see how your books explore intimacy across queer relationships and diverse identities in a way that feels so specific and intentional. And with so many stories you could tell, what draws you towards this particular connection, and like how do you shape it to obviously like represent what you want it to?
Yeah, I was on a panel yesterday and they were talking about how a lot of authors are writing like, I want to see what I would read in the world, and like, I want to chase the joy. And the author was like, I want them to hurt. And like, I want the trauma of it all, right? And so for me, it's like, yes, there's so much joy and there's comedy and there's all these things in my books, but when it comes to the queerness and the way that unfolds, that's hi, hello, welcome to my trauma. I came out much later in life, and I've had to do a lot of exploring through the stories that I write. So even when we get to things like, you know, understanding that I was queer and understanding that I was interested in polyamory and moving through books in that way and exploring them through my characters. But then like by the time I get to book 4 and I'm writing Henrik and I wrote him as demisexual, I started out being like, I want to be very careful about how I do this. I want to do honor to demisexual people and I want to feel like this is going to be good representation. I dove into it. I spoke to a lot of people that were demisexual. Then I started writing Henrik and I was like, oh, shit. I'm demisexual. Like, Teddy's crying and I'm crying and we both can't understand Henrik, but I understand Henrik completely because it's me, right? And so a lot of it is just like the truth as I know it and the truth as I see it. It's really interesting writing queerness in so many different ways as I've done it, because you'll get a lot of readers that will get pushback. I'm sure others that have written queer stories have gotten this of like, that's not good bisexual representation. Or it's like, that's not good sapphic representation. It's like, I literally pulled that from my chest and my own experience. It's how bisexuality has emerged for me. But it's like, we're not a monolith. There's so many different ways to tell these stories. And you just really want to try and center the humanity of the person first and kind of go from there, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah. And speaking of your steamy scenes, it's no secret that we love smut. So I want to know, like, when you're writing it, what do you think you're putting a sex scene in it, what's this in a story, what's it doing at its best? Like, what do you want it to represent, aside from just being, you know, fun?
Yeah, I've said a bunch of times before that I think the least sexy thing you can ever do is write a sex scene. Like, especially like draft a sex scene. There's nothing sexy about it. It's a very clinical form of writing. It's a very technical form of writing. There's lots of moving pieces, no pun intended. But there's also, for me, at least the way that I do spice, and I feel like I've read enough of your works now collectively to know that I feel like we're on the same wavelength of like, the spice is doing something, right? It's never, like there is a space, don't get me wrong. There's a wonderful space for spice's sake. But in the kind of spice that I write, it's either moving the character and or the plot forward. So even when you get things of people being like, oh, can I skip the spice chapters? No, you can't skip the spice chapters. You're missing so much of the character development if you don't go on that journey with them. So I really try and think about like, where are they in point A before the scene starts, and where am I trying to get them in point B? Are we revealing information? Are we deepening the connection? Is someone gonna try something new, learn something new? Is there gonna be a power imbalance, power shift? Like, what is it that the spice is the vehicle for that's bigger and deeper, right? And that makes it very technical, that you're not only having to make sure they don't have like 3 arms and 2 left hands as you're drafting, but that arc comes across through the physical act. Yeah. The dentist is the perfect example. That Caleb's chapter alone is 30,000 words long, and it's almost all spice. You can't skip it, but it's a whole story in there, right? In the spice. Yeah, so it's fun. Wow. It's a fun time.
I love that. I feel like that should be like your marketing tagline, 30,000 words of just spice. Amazing. Love it. Okay, awesome. So Kate, on to you. As we know, the PWHL is having a great time. And since you write sapphic hockey romances, I want to know, how do you feel in this moment with them getting recognition, well overdue?
It's freaking amazing. I played college hockey a long time ago. And one of the things that I think is really interesting when we're talking about, like, are books from now going to seem hopefully dated for the homophobia? Women's hockey was not a cool place to be gay when I was in college. When I came out, I had players on my team who threatened to quit. And like, I'm old, but I'm not that old. And I want to shout out to my coach who was like, fuck no. Like, we're not having that on this team. If you want to leave, you can go. But the way that my team moved forward was more people came out. And so when you look at the PWHL, when, of course, I make jokes about Team USA and Team Canada getting married, because they do. They got kids, like, it's a whole thing. They don't talk in the Olympics, but it's fine. It's because people came out and they said, this is who I am, and you can, and I'm good enough that you don't want me to leave your team. And so the PWHL being this, I got to go to the game at the Garden, the Fleet. Sadly, Dartmouth's own Laura Stacey. I went to Dartmouth. We loved Laura Stacey, but she set up the game-winning goal for Montreal, which, boo. But it was incredible. I had never been to a women's sports event that was like that, and that was so freaking gay. We took my in-laws. It was their Christmas present. It was fine. I'm not sure they knew they were coming to that was something so gay, but I've wandered. But when AJ Malesko, who was doing color commentary for the Olympics, talks about when I played against her, that's how old I am, she talks about having to retire at 26, despite being one of the best players in the country, because there was nowhere to play. That's not the case anymore. The PWHL exists, so people can keep playing, and it's fucking incredible.
And because it's so incredible, I think sapphic hockey romance is genuinely, I started with your book and then I fell into a rabbit hole of trying to find even more and more. I feel like there's not enough, and I'm like urging people to write it. Like, I love it. What do you think it is? Of course, other than that, it's really hot. What do you think it is that makes it so, I don't know, like it just really gets you in there?
I write hockey romance because I love jocks. Like, that's how I exist in the world, right? Like, I bring that, like, jock girl mentality. That's, like, I grew up as a tomboy. And I married a basketball player. And that, I think there's a mentality, there's a swagger, there's a way. When my mom read my book, like, dear God, she was like, do people really talk like that? And I was like, yes, Mom, this is what it sounds like in the locker room. But I think some of it is the same thing you see in male romance in sports, is that, like, I'm gonna just rip your face off and then we're gonna go make out, right? There's this, like, competition, it's fierce, the sport is violent, and there's crashes and people get hurt, and then you're like, hey, you're kind of cute, you want to go home? So I think there's a piece of that, and honestly, I hope there's a million more sapphic hockey romance books. There aren't enough, and I would love there to be just a boatload on the shelves.
I'm gonna need you to write way more so I could just keep writing them.
I'm working on it, I promise.
Awesome. All right, so next, Stephanie. I wanna know, so you write like the greenest flag men, and they're also hockey players, so that meshes. And I wanna know, how do you take sport that comes with so many stereotypes and turn those into characters we're rooting for and they're like lovable?
I mean, I try to it's fiction, so we know that, real life hockey players are not always like the ones I write. So yeah, I write books for 23-year-old me, 23-year-old Stephanie, who was dating all the wrong guys, who didn't really understand why I didn't want to invite my boyfriend out with me and my friends. It's because I didn't like him.
We've all been there.
It took me a couple years to figure that one out. That was Darcy's book. Yeah, she was with the wrong guy, who was perfectly nice, but just the wrong guy for a long time. So, I'm sorry. You probably all think I'm such a ditz. Can you repeat the question?
I want to know, how do you write these characters who have so many stereotypes around them to be so lovable?
I think many of you have talked about this already, that they need to be a fully realized character. They need to be a real person. We put a lot of effort in behind the scenes of just thinking about these characters. Like Emily said, she knows her character's favorite ice cream flavor and stuff that never comes out on page. And that's really important, that our characters feel so real to you, so that you can just disappear into our books and you can forget about your problems and just enjoy and escape. At least that's what I want for my books. I want you to just forget about your day and let me entertain you for a couple chapters before bedtime. So it's just so mind-blowing that I'm up here with all of you that I keep I keep getting distracted, and I'm like, I'm just enjoying listening to all of you talk so much that I forgot that I have to talk too. Yeah, I think that's the bulk of it, is like we just put in so much effort behind the scenes to make sure these people are real. I do my morning pages before I write every day, just daydreaming about these people. And Kate said so perfectly, you want these people to just hate each other. And so that's something or you want to push them out of their comfort zone, whether it's enemies to lovers or friends to lovers or roommates to lovers, whatever. You want to push them out of their comfort zone. And so, yeah, we just have, as authors, we have different levers to pull, to play with. Our books are our playground, right? That's our joy. And so, yeah.
Awesome. And on that, I want to know, what's your favorite thing to write, like a pathetic, yearning man? Like, what is that one thing that he does that you would love? I'll help. Mine is usually like if he's like washing her hair or like brushing her hair, or like he's like looking at the hairs on his pillow and he's like obsessed.
What?
Like, sorry, is that not normal?
I love it when he steals something of hers.
Oh, we
That's
know
weird
what that
too.
is.
Yeah, sometimes it's underwear, Well, in that book, the cat stole it, and the cat brought him the underwear. But yeah, like a hair tie or a lip balm or something like that. I think in the Hating Game, what did he steal of hers? It was like a Post-it. Yeah, it was origami, right? Something a bird that she flicked at him, and ever since I read that, I was like, oh, I love that. I don't know about all of you, but like I'm always reading stuff I love and then trying to find ways to kind of make it my own. And so him stealing something of hers is one of my favorite microtropes.
I love that. I think you do that really well too, like
Thanks.
little moments in there. Okay, so I just want to, since we've been talking about hockey and the representation, I just want to zoom out a little and talk about the hockey, obviously the culture, and there's important conversations about inclusion and safety and who belongs in these spaces. So as romance writers, we're not separate from that. We do have to kind of, add it in our books or like work around it in a way that we want that inclusion added. And I want you to wonder how you guys, we kind of talked about this already, but how you think hockey, especially romance fiction writing, is reshaping the way we see hockey in the real world.
I think something that floors me every time it happens, and makes me sad, but also makes me hopeful, is just how many people, the specific groups I'm thinking of people that have told me this are queer people and Black people, that say that they are so grateful for hockey romance as a space because they feel welcome and accepted in hockey romance, and they do not feel welcome and accepted at hockey games. And so to have them come to me and, to have them in tears saying thank you because they finally get to feel like they can belong in a space that they want to belong in is a really heavy burden to carry when you're writing these books. I'm sure we've probably felt these similar things. But I feel like, as a queer person engaging in, kind of like what you were saying of wanting to focus on centering, when you think of concepts like queer futurism, right? Of like, and I know that this has come up in some of the press that you've done, Rachel, of like, we are envisioning the world as we want it to be. It's not where it is now, Pucking Around and all of those books, they are fantasies. There's no world in which the Prices could live out and proud in a queer polyamorous unit in today's NHL. It could never happen, right? But we're investing in a version of queer futurism. We're investing in, we can make this reality. We can make it safe through things like symbolic representation. The fact that you're talking about wanting characters to feel safe to come out, or not even characters, but players feeling safe to come out. Symbolic representation means if I can see it, if I can see that it's safe to do it, or the fact that you came out and other people felt like, this is my moment, I'm gonna come out too, and now we're making a safe space for each other. That symbolic representation is so necessary and essential. And if it starts in hockey romance and bleeds over into hockey, like, we're literally changing culture, and that's amazing. It's amazing.
I've had a, yes. I've had like a very unique experience the last few months since the show came out, because hockey has come to me with, like, the NHL is very interested in working with me and with Jacob and Brendan, who made the show. I've had professional hockey players, I've had female and male professional hockey players, I've had trans hockey players who had to leave hockey, I've had like just all sorts of people who like work for teams, and they're like, listen, there's people on the inside that really want what you want. Like, we're working for change. We want to make this happen. And people at all levels of hockey have approached me and told me that. And it's been really great to hear. I feel like I'm assembling like an Avengers of good hockey people. So like everything from journalists to players to executives to, I don't know, just all sorts of people have reached out, and they want to kind of band together and make something happen. And they've also told me that real conversations are happening that they never thought would happen, that things are being said, like things are happening and things are being said yes to that they never thought in a million years would be, just since the show came out and the impact it's had. And I've also really enjoyed seeing how many fans of the show are going to hockey games, especially NHL games, and being really loud about it and taking up space with like their merch and their signs, and it's like just things like seeing the kiss with Scott and Kip brought like on the jumbo screen at an NHL game, and then the whole crowd at the NHL game is cheering. Like, that is so meta and weird, and like, but it's incredible. Like, it's nothing I ever thought I'd ever see. And so just in the last few months, it feels like is some change actually going to happen? I don't know. I still feel like it's a very long road, but I feel like a jump was made, and it's pretty thrilling. I don't know where it's going to go, but right now it feels kind of exciting.
Yeah, I think even at my local, like in Vancouver, the Canucks had it play on the the Jumbotron. I thought that was so amazing because, especially because if I go out, I don't know how many people like know Heated Rivalry or like love hockey romance or love this diversity, and it was so interesting to see them like wearing the jerseys, and you're like, okay, you're my people, like you're here. So I love that. All right, so next I'm gonna do like a little rapid fire. So it's gonna be like quick, a little fun. Okay, so for my first one is, which one trope will you defend for life, no matter what it is?
I like wear my jersey, or
Yes.
yeah.
Every single time it hits.
So I can
don't
take it
care.
off of you, right? Yeah, that's a fun one.
I want them to be forced together. My
Forced proximity.
author friends always make fun of me because like I always find a way to make them live together.
I love that. I've had like her apartment burned down.
Yeah, burn her
They
apartment
need to
down,
burn
get her
down.
in there. Yeah.
I took so much heat for that in Pucking Around because I had Rachel sit next to Mars on the plane, and all of these hockey people were like, that would never happen. The doctor would never sit next to the goalie, and I was like, dream with me. Like, we need forced proximity. How is she ever gonna get close to him if I don't make her get close to him? They sit together on the plane, leave us alone.
It's fun and we like it.
Yeah. All right, my next one is actually a fuck, marry, kill. And it's really random, but it is Twilight. And it's very like niche characters, kind of. So it's gonna start with Carlisle. And then Charlie Swan. And then Alice Cullen.
Okay, I'm gonna lose everyone here. I've never read or watched Twilight.
Thank God it's
I'm
not
gonna lose
just
the other
me.
half of the crowd. Me too.
I have no idea who these people are.
Is it between you and me, Stephanie?
Yes.
Okay. You go first.
Okay, well, Bal asked me this question 2 months ago. We did an event together, but it was Carlisle, Charlie, Edward. I immediately said, well, kill Edward.
Easy.
I think I would kill Carlisle.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
And
not
been
Carlisle.
for so long. He's also a billionaire. A reader sent this to me. She said, because I had said I would have fucked Carlisle. I was going to marry Charlie. I still want to marry Charlie. I guess I would say fuck Alice, marry Charlie, kill... Who's the last
Carlisle.
one? Kill Carlisle. Yeah.
Honestly, I like that. Emily?
No, I would flip it a little bit. So I would kill Carlisle. I would fuck Charlie. But I would marry Alice, and we'd be so happy together.
Awesome.
What about you?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, Carla is a billionaire, you guys.
Yeah.
I'll
Kill him.
No, he's dead. He's dead.
If he's sharing
the
his wealth
rich.
with me, it's fine.
Marry then kill.
Yeah, marry then kill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think fuck Charlie for sure. He has that truck. Just saying. And then Alice, what did I say? Fuck, marry, kill. Okay, marry Alice, and then I'll kill Carlisle. Even though I
Not a
don't
good
want
day for him.
Can I also fuck him? I'm kidding. Okay, and then since Rachel, you haven't read it, I actually want to use your book characters. I want to use Shane, and I'll use Ilya, and I'll use. Should we do
Scott.
Scott? Awesome. Okay, I'll do Shane, Ilya, and Scott.
I have to
They've
do it.
turned on you.
I want to kill all of them right now. My book's not a playground, it's a coal mine at the moment. I mean, you fuck Ilya.
Yes.
Oh boy. Scott has a really nice apartment. I think this isn't no, the people who think I hate Shane aren't gonna like where this is going. But
I don't want to be in these fan
No,
cams.
wait, the only one who likes women is Ilya, so I'm gonna marry Ilya. I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like this game.
That was still a great answer. I love that.
Can you friend zone instead of kill?
Okay, yeah, perfect.
I'll friend zone Shane.
Oh. Okay, and then, third act breakup, yes or no? Okay, but if it's well written.
I feel like 90% of the time it's not, though. It just, like, as much, I know it's plot. And so whenever you hear, like, it feels like a plot device. But sometimes it is where you're just like, what? Like, it makes no sense. Yeah. Like, when it's earned, yes, of course it can work. Of course, like, that's the way relationships work. But sometimes it's not always earned, and that's why I think it gets a bad rap sometimes. Yeah.
It's like if you're reading Pride and Prejudice and you're like, oh no, Act 3 breakup. It's like, yeah, as long as it's well written, I'm all for it.
I actually love it when there's like a really good reason for it and you're like gasping. You're like, how will they ever resolve this? But when it's just like you missed a phone call, you're just like, well.
It's like, and the other person's like, can we talk about it? No.
Yeah.
No, miscommunication.
I guess I'll never bring this up again.
Yeah.
It's like Captain Wentworth is leaving, so he has, persuasion, never mind.
But sometimes a dumbass has to learn, right? They need a breakup to learn.
They need
right?
to grovel, yeah.
Some people are just dumb.
Yeah. Okay, would you like a main character who texts the other love interest all day, or who shows up at their door?
Shows up at the door, yeah.
Easy.
What time? What time are they showing up at the
Ooh.
door?
I'm gonna say like 2 a.m.
Yeah, heavy breathing.
Sleeping. Yeah,
Heavy
I'm asleep.
breathing.
Go home.
It's
You're
raining
drunk.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I had nowhere else to go. That would it. Yeah. Okay.
A man shows up at my door at 2 a.m. I'm calling the cops.
If it's a woman showing up at my door, it's open. Door's unlocked.
More likely to say yes.
Okay, are you the type to read reviews or pretend Goodreads doesn't exist?
I don't read reviews.
What is Goodreads?
Yeah.
I deleted Goodreads when my first book came out because I was like, yeah, I'm no longer a reader. I'm not here.
I was still writing book 3, and it had hundreds of reviews, including, like, not just star ratings, reviews of a book that I had not even read. And so I'm just like, what is the point of this, you know? And even like the 5-star ones that are like, can't wait to read it, and then the 1-star ones that are like, boo, you know, my politics or whatever, you know? And so it's like, all right, so it's not even birthed from my brain, and it already has so much social commentary attached to it, and this rating system, so I'm like, this is not the space for me. I don't need to be here, you know? Yeah.
The only time I go on Goodreads is when I, you know, say you get a comment or something that kind of sticks in your head. I'll go to my favorite books, not mine, other books, and I'll read the 1-star reviews on my favorite album, and I'll say, you're wrong.
No, I do that.
That's a good idea.
Some people are just wrong.
I do that with Toni Morrison novels. I'm just like, okay, let me see what they're saying. Okay, I feel better.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage. I think all of us have tried reading our own reviews and then quickly run away from that.
If my publisher sends me like a starred review in like, you know, Publishers Weekly or something, I still don't read it.
Yeah.
I don't like reading the reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
They're not for me.
I literally just last week I posted a thing where, like, exactly what you're saying. I was looking up a copy of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and I was cracking up because it only had like a 3-star rating. And so I went down and I was looking at one of the 1-star reviews was like, disappointing. It's like, it's the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Like, what were you looking for? Yeah, it was really funny.
This illustrator sucks.
I know, yeah. It made me feel a lot better. I was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And then I scrolled and read them all, right? Yeah.
No, I've gotten one and say all the characters should die. I'm like, they're fictional. They don't exist. Okay, so awesome. Those were great. Rapid fire is done. So we're gonna go to the closing question. I want to know when all these readers pick up your books, what do you want them to leave with? Like, what feeling or like emotion that they carry after you're reading your books? This is a group question.
I think for me, the most important thing is empathy. Because I'm writing so many characters that have lived experiences that are not the same as the bulk of my readers, in a time and place where they're trying to ban empathy, they're trying to ban queer realities, I want you to be able to step inside a character that is utterly unlike you in every way and root for them and love them and want them to have a happy ending and build that empathy inside you. Without it, we're gonna die as a species, and they can't take it out of us, so empathy.
Okay. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. I think when I write diversity, I always say, like, I don't need to write an Indian character and have her be eating samosas every 5 seconds. Like, she can just be Indian and she could be at college doing what she needs to do. So I do love that. It just should be a thing without it being like a thing. All right, so we're gonna move on to the audience Q&A. So you guys gave us a few questions. Okay, so first question. How do you pronounce that? It's okay, you guys, I have a hard name. So if I mispronounce this, no, I know how you feel. It's Cochran. What is it that hockey has that stands out in romance books when compared to other sports? I think we kind of touched on this already.
There's a lack of melanin, yeah.
Yeah. For sure, okay. We got that, we'll just move on to the next one. When writing an interconnected standalone, do you decide what tropes you want to be included before you write your next novel, or do you start drafting something and then it happens naturally? And that was from Lucy.
Are we relying too much on tropes these days? I think we kind of stumble into tropes as authors and writers, and then I think tropes are how our publishers market things. It's how Book Talk loves to market things, but I feel that stories are more than tropes. I tend to just start with the thanks for snaps at the stories are more than tropes, but stories are more than tropes. I love a good trope, but I usually start by thinking about what this character wants and what's getting in their way, and because stories have existed since we were drawing since the Book of the Dead, like. We are going to 2 stars. We're going to fall into repeated narrative mechanics that we are now calling tropes. So that was such a non-answer answer, but that's how I feel.
Tropes sometimes help me get unstuck, where I'm like, I know that I want to write a book with this character, like in my second book, this character. What will be the most sort of uncomfortable for her? How can I mess with her? And so I picked a holiday book because she's got family problems. But so I think the tropes can help as a like you're on the top of the hill and you just need to get over and then get into the writing process.
Yeah, I love tropes. I'm shameless about loving tropes, but it's like Ngozi said, like, you need more than tropes. You need amazing characters who are real people. You can't just rely on tropes. But yeah, like Kate said, sometimes the tropes help push you to the next chapter.
Awesome. All right, so next question is Kayla. With women's sports rising in popularity, if you haven't already, have you considered writing romances with women identifying athletes?
Yes. Exclusively.
Sorry. Go ahead. My 5th book will, yes.
All right, awesome.
Y'all better buy it. I'm serious. Sapphic romance, like, please, if you want to see more of it, please buy it. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but if you like it, buy it, request it from your library.
Awesome. And then from Abby, how do you balance the action on the ice with the romance?
For me, it's kind of easy because I get to draw the action on the ice. So it's really about being meticulous about the detail and the equipment and just how hockey players are kind of hard to draw because they're not very flowy. They're kind of like bulky. So when you're drawing like when you're drawing like a on the ice kiss or something, you get to those two things. On the ice kiss that happens like after they're playing. It's not in the middle. Like you kind of get to combine the hockeyness of it with the romance at the same time.
I think there's like a lot of similarities between writing a sex scene and a hockey scene too. Those are the 2 scenes in my books that I kind of approach in a similar way, where there's a lot of keeping track of things. And much like the sex scenes, I'm not just putting a hockey scene in there if there's no story. Like, I'm not just gonna write like a fake play-by-play of an imaginary game. Like, I don't really care how the play goes. Like, I want to know what the dialogue on the ice is, what the character is thinking. You know, there has to be a reason to show that game besides the fact that it's a hockey game, a hockey book, so it needs hockey in it. And yeah, it's much like the sex scenes, lots to keep track of, lots of physical parts that you need to coordinate, and I want it to be as long as it needs to be, which I find with the hockey scenes don't have to be that long, and sex scenes sometimes go a little long, but I see them as kind of a similar thing, even though obviously they seem like pretty different, but kind of same approach.
I think it depends on what the story requires, too. So, like with Pucking Around, you have 4 main characters. 3 of them are players, and 1 is the doctor that is often standing on the ice waiting for them to get injured. You know, so it's like so many readers came up to me and they're like, you really made me learn a lot about hockey with this book. But it's like, it was the nature of where they are, where the setting is. They're constantly on the ice, and there is a lot of hockey in that book. Book 2, he's injured almost immediately, and it's more of like a let me rehab you, forced proximity, why do we live together, book, right? But so it's like, by nature of the story that I was telling, there's almost no hockey in book 2, but it still works as a hockey romance. He's still a hockey player. It's just more about his rehab journey and then getting back on the ice than the first one. So depending on the story, you'll see more or less hockey in it. I've certainly read some hockey romances where you wouldn't know it. Like, you wouldn't know that there was hockey in that, because it's like, oh, he happened, like, I'm a hockey player, and then he just disappears for the hockey parts and then comes back in for the rest of the story. So it's like, all right, tangentially hockey romance adjacent, maybe, but yeah, it's fun.
My favorite kind of hockey. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to know, what real life hockey teams do you cheer for? We just go down I'm gonna say Vancouver Canucks, shamefully.
Yeah, unfortunately, Canucks.
Sorry, but
We're not doing well.
yeah.
Fleet.
The Seattle Torrent.
Habs. They start their playoff run today, all the way.
Yeah, my favorite hockey team was the Montreal Canadiens from 2013 to 2016.
Ooh,
PK Subban, Carey Price.
so cute.
They were so cute.
Best friends.
0005.
Awesome. And then lastly, from Molly, she's asking, what sparked your interest in hockey and what inspired you to write it?
When I was graduating from college, Yale was in the NCAA tournament, and we won. And it was the same time I was writing my very first screenplay in college, and it was about a hockey player. So it was all kismet. It all came together. And I think it was, y'all, I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm a black woman. I never really interacted with hockey. So that initial spark was just like, what is this? Why do you guys all talk like that? Everyone's like, oh yeah, so obviously I think we're gonna go really hard today and the puck we have to really. I was just like, why do you guys are you code switching? What's going on? So I was so intrigued and just like breaking apart this very odd culture, and writing a character like Eric Biddle, I wanted almost like a cipher to go in and kind of disrupt it even more.
Awesome. All right, so that's the last of our questions, and that is the last for the panel. Thank you all for coming. Give it up for our panelists. Okay. So we will be signing right after this. We will probably have the details about exactly where and which hall. I don't have those right now. But 2:15? Table 15. Thank you. Awesome. We'll see you guys there.
Can we do a quick photo op and get us all together?